Morning everybody, it's about 7:52 a.m. Pacific time on this Wednesday, June 7th. I do apologize if I'm going to sound like I'm going to stutter or ramble a little bit. It's early and I just woke up a little while ago. And of course I'm trying to do this as quickly as I can with the opportunity that I have with my mom asleep and my nephew asleep, my third oldest nephew asleep right now. So I'm just taking advantage of the opportunities I've talked about before. But, getting on to the topic at hand, we had heard for months, weeks, that, if not the past year or so, that, Nintendo was, rumored to be considering upgrading the Switch to be more playable and, up to speed with today's television and monitors, basically the 4Ks and the 8Ks and all that, mainly because they see the success and the interactivity that gamers, casual and hardcore, are having more so with the PlayStations and the Xbox that both Sony and Microsoft have brought out in the past several years. They're noticing people are gravitating more towards that than towards the Switch, even though the Switch is one of their best sellers, and basically the selling feature is, hey, you could take this on the road with you no matter what. Basically take your game console on the road with you and have that similar experience, or basically still stay in the game and stuff like that. Even though the portability of the Switch was the great selling point for it, has made it one of the more best-selling consoles around. Still people gravitate to the likes of, the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, the PS5, previously the Xbox One and the Xbox One X and Xbox One S. They gravitate more to those because even though those game consoles are meant for play at home and they don't have the portability that, a Switch does, they prefer them more so because they give them more detail, they give them more clarity, especially when it comes to playing them on their televisions. I mean, I can't tell you honestly that when I play my PlayStation 4, on my 4K television, I can't tell you how much of a big difference it is when I'm playing 2K18, or I'm playing my Xbox and I'm playing Mortal Kombat 11. I can't tell you how much of a difference it has made, just for the fact that you see more, you get more fluid movement and stuff like that, and that's what people appreciate, and that's what they're attracted to, thanks to these consoles. And Nintendo's announcement yesterday, officially, confirming that in October of this year they will be releasing an upgraded OLED version of the Switch. I think a lot of people are going to be happy about that. Even those that do own a Switch like I do, they're going to be happy to probably go and get another one, especially if it's one they can just, keep at home and keep, settled in to their 4K television or 8K television or whatever the case may be, or monitor. They'll be very appreciative of that. They will shell out the money for that. I mean, even though it promises, because according to the trailer that was released yesterday, it promises a wider screen. It's a OLED screen as well. They promise that the stand is going to be, this stand here, if you will, if I can get it out carefully. And that's easier said than done sometimes. There we go. But this stand here is going to be wider. It's going to be like right here. It's going to be like right here, and it's going to be wider, as well as the audio that you get like from here, if you will, is as well as from your television, is going to be more enhanced. Again, I'm sure people won't mind shelling out whatever amount it's going to be to have that upgraded version at home. Because despite the fact that Nintendo's selling you on the idea that, hey, you could take it on the road with you just like your original Switch, people are going to be like, yeah, that's a great idea and everything, but we'd rather keep are, we'd rather, we'd rather keep our new switch, our OLED switch, at home and take our other switch with us. Basically, the switch that you bought originally, like I did, will be more of your portable device compared to the new OLED. And because again, people might appreciate the idea, like, oh, we could take this new, clearer, more versatile and lively switch on the road with us. But here's the thing: 4Ks, 8Ks, OLEDs, OLEDs, QLEDs, if you will, OLEDs, QLEDs, whatever you want to call them, they are some of the most, how do I put it? They are some of the most valuable items out there for people to try to steal. And there's a lot of folks that know this, especially those that would be interested in getting an OLED, an OLED, if you will, version of the Switch. And realizing that, again, they might go out and shell out the money to get the upgrade, but they're only going to do that so they can keep it at home, keep it hooked up to the 4K or 8K television or monitor, and then use the Switch they bought originally when it first came out, or even the more portable one that was brought out later on, and use that as the system they take on the go. So to me, I think that's what people are going to do. They're going to buy the Switch, they're going to buy the new OLED Switch, because of the wider screen, if you will, because of the enhanced audio, and also because of the fact that it's not just the portability of the Switch, it's not just the Switch like this that's being upgraded, it's also the dock, because the dock is getting an upgrade with a wired landline, a wired LAN port. So now you don't have to worry about the Wi-Fi, you don't have to worry, I should say, struggling with the Wi-Fi. Instead, you'll have the connection of a LAN cable connected to it from your modem. And I think that's greatly appreciated. If you know what I mean, it's greatly appreciated. I mean, I know I have a LAN, I have a LAN port connected right now, an Ethernet port connected to my laptop here, as well as I have a LAN port, Ethernet port cable that is connected to my PS4, and it's a big world of difference. It is really a big world of difference. Of course, when it comes to the computer, sometimes it all depends on whether or not it decides it wants to load and knock out the internet temporarily, especially when I use Microsoft Edge, but that's neither here nor there. But besides that little tidbit there, most of the time it's very appreciative because you get a direct connection, if you will, from the internet. You don't have to worry about a signal coming across, most times, unless you're on a 5 signal, unless you're on that 5 gigahertz signal, that 5 GHz signal, then you should be okay, according to a lot of people. But overall, like I said, the LAN port being added to the new dock of the new upgraded OLED switch is going to be very appreciative by a lot of people, because again, like I said, it's going to make things, because they're going to look at it, I should say, as basically them being able to not worry about losing a signal or anything like that, because of various other wireless signals out there, or other people being on other portable devices. So it's going to be very much appreciative, I can tell you that. But overall, when I look at this new upgraded version of the Switch, I look at something that it's going to sell, especially if you're releasing it in October, close to the holiday season. It's going to sell in a big way, but it's going to be the Switch that's mainly going to be. But what I'm trying to say, and again, I do apologize, it's early, but what it's going to be to me is the Switch that's going to be the home console version. In other words, it'll be the stay-at-home version of the Switch. I mean, people will still play it portably like this, but only when they're at home. not when they're on the road, not when they're at relatives or anything, because they don't want to chance the fact that they might lose it, or mostly it might get stolen because of its OLED technology. So to me, Nintendo obviously is finally, jumping on the bandwagon and realizing, hey, everybody is, moving forward and towards the 4K, 8K, 1440, 2K resolutions, and we're still stuck in the 720 resolutions with the portability of this, as well as the 1080 resolution when they hook it up to the dock, to play on the screen. So so thankfully, Nintendo's realizing, hey, they got to get on the ball now, because of the fact that if they don't, they're going to get left in the dust, and they don't want that. Because if they get left in the dust, ladies and gentlemen, if they get left in the dust, then they could potentially, and this is the honest truth, but they could, from a business standpoint, potentially fear that they might be heading down the same path that Sega headed down before Sega said, look, we're gonna stop doing consoles. We're mainly going to be a gaming publisher and distributor. Nintendo, you can't tell me from a business standpoint, Nintendo Japan doesn't realize, hey, we don't want to go down that same path, so we need to get on the ball. We need to get the ball rolling, and start producing and distributing equipment, consoles, if you will, that will work in sync, work in sync, if you will, with the more modern televisions and monitors out there of today. But overall, I think it's a good idea, and I think it will sell, but to me it'll be more of the stay-at-home Nintendo Switch compared to the original Switch that got sold, which of course the selling point for that was the portability. And to me, again, it's like I said, I think what's going to happen is people are going to keep the new OLED 4K switches at home, but for the portability of the Switch, they're going to take the original ones that they bought, because again, they don't want to risk the fact that that's going to get stolen, that could get hijacked or lost potentially, and they don't want to chance that, especially depending on how much money they're going to be shelling out for it when it comes out. But yeah, I can't wait to see what happens when this gets released. Am I going to probably get one? We'll have to see. Things are going to be a little bit more different by then, financially, so that may or may not be in the equations. But we'll see what happens, and just go from there. That's all we can really do. But yeah, I gotta give Nintendo a thumbs up, a little bit of an applause, because they're finally realizing, hey, we need to get on the ball with this. We need to get on the ball, or else we're going to get left in the dust. Because again, despite the fact that this was one of the better selling consoles in the past several years, due to the selling point of it being half portable, Nintendo obviously is noticing that more people still gravitate towards the PlayStations and the Xboxes because of the more in-sync compatibility with the modern monitors and televisions of today. So again, got to give a thumbs up and an applause to Nintendo for finally getting on the ball, and we'll see what happens here. But like I said, and I do apologize for repeating myself, but like I said, I see the new OLED Switch being more of an at-home Switch than an on-the-go Switch. That's my honest opinion, because I think the original Switches that people bought, including the more portable ones, are going to be the ones they rely on for the on-the-go travel than the new OLED ones. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below. Again, I do apologize if I sound like I rambled, I stuttered a little bit, or I repeated myself. It's early. It's about 8:06 a.m. Pacific time on this Wednesday, June 7th. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. Comment if you like the video. I really appreciate it. More likes get more views on this, and maybe more comments and opinions. But let me know what your thoughts are, and I am out.